Hi, my name is Germ, and I play bass for the band Hockey. That I've learned about myself? Ooh, that's a good question. Wow. I don't know. I guess I could do more traveling than I thought I could do, definitely. Just like getting up every night and playing a show. Like we were out for 3 months straight. And that was pretty insane, pretty grueling, but at the same time you're doing what you love and kind of just dig into that reservoir of being passionate about playing music. And I don't know, when I get on stage everything else just sort of drops away, and that's pretty great form of escape. Like I'm not thinking about anything, I'm just there in the moment, or at least I try to be. So that kind of keeps me going maybe when other things get to be just hectic and crazy and exhausting. And I think it takes a certain amount of life energy just to be on stage and know that a lot of people are looking at you, and you know, you're trying to pull everything together for that 45 minutes or that hour or whatever it is. And that's definitely not easy. And then if you add in that kind of physical aspect, depending on the night or the show, I mean, I can get crazier some nights than others. I'm gonna let my hair down, but anyway, the crowds help a lot. Knowing that the crowd is into it, even if it's just people bobbing their heads or smiling really big, is pretty huge for us as a band. I think we take a lot of our kind of cues from an audience, and sometimes audiences are just staring at you and even looking a little unhappy about it, which I guess is your job to make them excited, but it doesn't go down like that every night. I mean, especially we've been touring most of this year without a record out, so a lot of people were hearing us for the first time or know one song or two songs, so you've kind of got to earn it from people, and they're not just going to get up and jump up and down because they love your record because, you know, it's not out or it just came out. So we definitely feel like out to try to prove ourselves as a band that's worthy of people talking about, or you know, even just being out on the road, being signed to a major label. Those are all things I think people know going in, so they want to see something that's worthy of all that, and we do our best. Some nights are better than others, but yeah, a lot of stuff went into it. I guess we recorded a 9-song EP-ish ourselves here in Portland in like the winter of 07-08, and released it ourselves that spring. And then at the end of the summer of 2008, we signed, I guess it was the fall, we signed to EMI, and they basically said, hey, we really like this 9-song EP that you did. We think you could have a couple more songs. And we were like, great, we have a couple more new songs that we want to put on it. So we went back into a studio, cut, I guess it was 2 or 3 songs off the original EP, added 4 or 5 more, and mixed them and mastered them together, and that's the record, basically. But for the most part, it's all, with the exception of a few songs, it's all stuff that we produced ourselves, mostly in our basement at our house. Some of it was even mixed in our basement at our house, and yeah, it's got a self-release kind of feeling. But I guess we worked really hard on our own time to do that 9-song EP and make it something that had legs, so to speak, that could last, that we could be proud of, that we could try to, you know, put something behind, put a lot of stock in. So when it came time to go back and re-record, we sort of said, a lot of these songs we got them just how we wanted them. It took a long time, it took months and months and months of us just doing songs all the way to the end and going to mix them and then saying, oh, this isn't how we want it, so we got to start again. So yeah, when it kind of came time, I think we had the option to redo it, but we kind of liked what we came up with for whatever reason and just kept it. I guess the next record, which is like kind of floating out there somewhere. There's pieces of a lot of songs, and we have ideas about some older songs that we could kind of resurrect. Who knows? I don't even know how it works. Like, we're on tour so much that I don't know if you just eventually fall out of tour and you have like 6 weeks to write and record your next record or something like that. I don't know how bands do that, you know, because this record is like our whole career, you know, 6 years of playing together. And picking kind of the best songs from that whole period and putting them together. Yeah, we've got probably 60 or 70 songs that we've written over the past, you know, 7 years. So we might pull from that. I don't even know. I mean, it takes us at least a long time to put a song together. hopefully we just saved up a lot of creative juice, and when we get the chance to start writing again, which we've started to do, we can just bang, bang, bang out a bunch of stuff. We know we want to make a slower record. Our record's a little quick, just in a tempo, so a slower, probably more kind of expansive record, maybe a little heavier in some parts. I think we'll probably still use like beats and stuff like that, but we're hoping to bring it down a little deeper, make it a little more evocative or something like that. Maybe this record sort of skims along the surface a little bit, at least in the production. I mean, that's the sound of our basement here in Portland. So I think a lot of it is just kind of evolving as a band and kind of realizing what works live and what doesn't. And we've done more shows in the last 9 months than we probably did in the first 5 or 6 years we were a band. So you learn a lot from playing your songs live and seeing how people react to them, and which song goes over well and which song doesn't, you know, and things like that. Yeah, there's nothing like getting up on stage and playing a song for people. You really figure out so many things that you just wouldn't get. I mean, it's hard to feel a song out from a rehearsal space, but on stage it's like, oh, okay, I get it. We got to do this chorus again, or we got to go back to this, or this is working, or this isn't, you know. I mean, that's all just kind of the science of trying to put a great song together, which when you know it is so sweet, but it takes a lot. We edit and hash for sometimes months at a time, and playing live is such a big part of kind of illuminating that process for us and helping us to figure out what's good and what isn't, because it's kind of like doing a painting with 4 people. You could do anything. It's just infinite. It's insane. So how do you decide what direction, you know, what key, what melody, what tempo, what beat, the style? Obviously the style thing is a little crazy for us. We've sort of been all over the place and probably will continue to be. I mean, maybe we'll pull that back a little bit on the next record, try to discover our sound, even if it is like a crazy mashup, really make the record flow a little more than it does. I guess Mind Chaos is like the disclaimer of the whole thing, so at least it's self-referential, but we know it's insane. I think our sound is in there somewhere, but it's sort of up to us to bring that out in a more coherent way, because the record listener doesn't know you as a person, they don't know what your influences are, they might not even care. They just want something that they can press play on and feel it all the way through, and there's some kind of line that ties it all together, a thread. And I think a lot of the greatest bands over the past 40 years have done that in some way or another. They have something to define them, even if it's just at first, and then they go on to do more experimental stuff later. But I think that's a big part of making an impression on people, is that they can sort of depend on you to be something. You know, like the Strokes came out, this is their thing. You know, you get it, you can see it, you can hear it, boom. Then you expand off that, but I think we're sort of running into this identity crisis with this crazy record that, you know, who are we? What are we doing? Are people into it? Are they not into it? Because it's sort of too early to tell, but I suppose there's something that we deliver into the music, into the songwriting, that we don't realize, and that the finished product is an expression of who we are and our influences and all that, but it's not something we're conscious of, really. It's just sort of, if you really kind of pay attention to what's out there creatively for you and try to become just an open channel to that, then sort of after the fact that you might discover, oh, we did a song like this, or we did a song like that, or we've got all these insane styles on our record. But I think we try as much as we can to not meddle in that process, so that's probably a part of why it's a little insane, maybe. Maybe metal, or maybe just be conscious of that. Maybe not metal, but try to think about a record from a fan's perspective, from the audience's perspective. Again, we've learned just so much in the past 9 months that we've kind of entered a world that we had no idea, and we didn't know anything about, what it was like to be a touring band, what it's like to put out a record that gets some attention, things like that. So I think that's going to change us whether we like it or not, and the next record will probably reflect that, I hope. Yeah.